Welcome to the Homefront live stream, Michelle. You're hot.
Hey guys, how are you? We are so glad to invite you into our homes, not just the home front, but in our homes, up and personal. We're so glad that you're here. I want to take a second to introduce our panel because, guys, you see them on the set a lot, but I want to make sure that you know who they are. So when I say your name, just come off of mute and welcome our guests. Let's start with Demi.
Hey guys, it's me, Demi, again. So happy to see you guys are on here. I can't wait to see all the questions you may have. I hope we answer them.
Thank you, Demi. We've got Tanya.
Hey everyone, looking forward to this. Hope we can grow it big, and we have some other episodes for you guys to play. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. And then we have Allie.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited we're doing this. I cannot wait to hear and see all of your comments and to listen to your suggestions. This is going to be a fun time. So thanks for taking the time out to join us live today.
Awesome. And then, of course, we've got our Gen Zers. Camden's here.
Changes in your home first, so we get to actually be personable and get to know you guys. I'm excited for it.
That's awesome. And I think we've got Brianna in here. Is she in here?
She looked like she dropped out.
No problem. We will start our first music video, and then as soon as she's back, we'll put her back on.
Awesome.
She'll be back.
I can hear the cries of a broken crowd. Yeah, we're hurting now in this American town. I couldn't stand there and listen. Now I'm out on a mission. Are you with me? Can you hear me? 'Cause the enemy's trying to break us, but only God above can save us in our darkest hour. But our voice is power. Yeah, we're fighting a war, but she's worth fighting for, because America is you and me. We got a country to save. You know it used to be great. I still remember those days. So before it's too late. Yeah, those bright city lights, they don't light up the sky like they used to. Like they used to. We only got until November, but the future's looking better when we're united, you and me. We got a country to save. You know it used to be great. I still remember those days. So before it's too late. You know God bless the USA. country to see.
Woo! That is so exciting. Oh my gosh. I love that. I love Hadass Levy and Chloe Castillo. Guys, they're not afraid or apologetic at all about having faith and the love of their country in their music. I see we have Brianna here. Brianna, why don't you come on and introduce yourself?
My phone died, but I'm here now. I'm Brianna. My camera's mirrored. Over here, that one, that's my mom. And then down there, that one, that's Allie. That's my other mom. She adopted me. Oh, hi, Camden. Oh, that's so cool.
Demi, are you crying?
This song always makes me cry. It just, it feels, when you watch the video, like you could hear the song and it's definitely powerful. There's so much power in the song. But then when you're watching, the soldiers and then the families reunite, and, I don't think that non-military families understand the sacrifice.
I agree.
And just the change of heart, and even just the way our soldiers come back. So different. And it's just, they do it. They choose to do it. For whatever reason, they choose to do it. And it's like, it's a sacrifice on the family members, not just Allie, you were in the Army. You know what that looks like. And then when you have families that go overseas and you never know, it's just, it hits home for me because of my brother and just the amount of tours that he had taken. And 3 different times his life was almost taken from him. So it hits hard for me. For me, it makes me cry every single time.
Oh, I understand. The family does serve too. So it's really heartwarming, and it does pull on your heartstrings when you see the soldiers come home and they're embraced by their family members. It is absolutely a beautiful video. I love the Americana nostalgia that's in there, and it just makes me laugh, like not laugh, but like I just smile because it kind of brings back a little bit of this hope, right? Especially when you have the clips of the college where they're, with their hands over their heart and they're raising the American flag. Like, it really is just an amazing music video. And the lyrics are just great. My girls love to sing the song. They ask for it all the time we get in the car. It's awesome.
That is amazing, guys. I'm excited to see this episode. I guess this is the one that aired earlier today. I've not seen it yet, though. So I think, is the control tower, are they ready for us to go ahead and watch? I think we're going to keep our cameras on. So if you see me eating cake, don't judge. It's Friday.
So yeah, this is so exciting. I'm so glad that we have people here now from Twitter, Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube watching. So thank you very much. You are the most important part of this entire event. So we're so glad you're here. I don't even know if I'm looking at the right camera. I think I am. There we go. So so glad you're here. We're going to play one more video here, and then we're going to start with episode 14. So here we go, folks.
Well, hello, America, and welcome to the home front. My name is Michelle Posey. I
think we're going straight into the episode
for you today. Now, the home front is on Patriot TV daily, and it's daily for a reason, because you're going to need a daily dose of us every single day, Monday through Friday. We are the unfiltered, unmuted, unsilenced, I guess you could say we are the other view, if you know what I mean. We are the real news, the real women's point of view, the patriotic point of view. So welcome to the home front. Now, normally we have 5 wonderful paneled guests here, women with us, but today we have a special guest, and I'm excited to hear his viewpoint as well. So let's start with something kind of fun and lighthearted. We'll tell the audience your name, and then today it's, what decade do you love the most? What decade do you love the most, and why? I want to know why. We'll start down here with Allie.
Okay, so decade as far as not within my own life, I would say 1920s. I love that era because, one, women were very feminine and men were very masculine.
Right.
But also Prohibition. I think that was like a big FU to our government.
Yeah. Ooh, that is a good background.
I loved it. It's such a great era. But I think I'm in love with my 30s.
Nice.
And I can't wait for my 40s.
40s are good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Demi. And I want to say anywhere between the years 1920s and 1940s, just because of the dress codes. It just was so ladylike,
Classy.
so classy and sophisticated, and
Femininity.
it just was amazing. So for that reason, I like those years.
Good. I like that. I'm Brianna, and I'd say my favorite decade was like the 1940s, simply because there's this photo where it's all these like army or like I think Navy, I don't know. They're all like surrounding this girl, lifting her up, and she's like giving her boyfriend or husband like a kiss goodbye. It's just like I see so many photos of just like sweet, gentle, innocent love, and it's just I love that.
My name is Mason Weaver, and my greatest generation has to be the World War II generation, the greatest generation, because their mothers and fathers went through the Great Depression.
Yes.
Those children were raised with no hope, no food or food lines, and they still love freedom enough to get up and go up and save and risk their lives to save freedom for all of us.
Come on.
Yes.
I love that. That is great. We're getting a
You will
history
get no
lesson here
argument
too.
from me out of that one. That's a
Oh
good one.
yeah. Gosh, so I was gonna say probably the 50s and 60s. I love the music. I still listen to it now. It's kind of when rock and roll was first coming out, you know, and they thought they had lost their minds. You know, parents were like, "What is that rubbish you're listening to?" You know, but it was kind of the early times of rock and roll. There was the innocence there. I don't think we knew what maybe music and entertainment would turn into back then. But I liked the fashion then, the poodle skirts, poodle skirts and ponytails. Maybe we might. You know what? We just launched a new Facebook, a closed Facebook group for you to share your comments. Maybe you need to tell us if you would like to see an episode of The Homefront where we dress in our favorite
Yes, I was just thinking that.
I couldn't even get that. We dress in our favorite
I
decade.
refuse to do that.
I want to see you in a zoot suit. Come on, that would be so cool. Well, we're so happy you joined us today. We do have our special guest, Mason Weaver, with us, and we'll be able to bring in some of his information and his books that he has. We'll bring that in a little bit today. I want to start off with something that's kind of a trending topic. I don't know if you heard this or not, but we no longer have in this country Boys and Girl Scouts of America. That's right. They've changed their name officially. They are Scouting America. I feel like they're grooming America, but they said it's Scouting America. First time in 114 years that they've decided to change their name. And guys, get this. The CEO has come out publicly and said that the reason that he felt the need to make this change was that their membership is at an all-time low. Mind you that for the last 12 years, they've constantly been bringing in transgender, they've been bringing in DEI. So I wonder why your membership's so low, but that's just proof that they're trying to ride woke coattails to be able to boost their membership. It's the almighty dollar. Guys, what do you think about this confusing gender?
Well,
What are they scouting for now?
Right.
Literally.
Well, I was just going to say, what happened back then that it was a decline. There was a lot of pedophilia that was going on.
Yes.
That's the reason why there was a decline.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with transgenderism or boy and girl or the confusion of whatever that looks like. It's because there was a lot of pedophilia that was going on and they were being called out and getting blasted, I guess. I don't know what I would say aside from that, but.
And now that they're pushing all this other stuff, I mean, it's going to be more decline.
And it's going to make matters worse.
Absolutely.
You're going to have more sexual abuse, more molestation, because now you're inclined to have all genders involved.
Hey, can we just have boy spaces, please? Like, can our boys just be boys?
Yes.
And our girls be girls? Like,
Only
why
when
do
we
we have
stand
to
up.
coexist? Like,
Yeah.
I just...
Only when we get tired of the mess. They're declining because the population refused to send their children to be molested.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Mom and Dad
agree.
had enough of this nonsense going on in our country. We're not going to apologize for being right. We're not going to apologize for having moral values. We do not want grown men to take our little kids out camping anymore.
Exactly.
No.
And you know, I'm going to go ahead and say it, America. You need to go ahead and cancel your Girl Scout cookies.
Yes.
Cancel
no.
those Thin Mints, because
The
as somebody
s'mores.
who's losing weight, I'm offended that they're called Thin Mints because they never made anybody thin.
Okay, Michelle.
Okay, I'm just saying. She can play this, right? So that breaks my heart. But do you guys know, are there any good alternatives to Boys and Girl Scouts out there?
I don't think so. I
Chips
think
Ahoy.
Chips Ahoy. You're a
I mean,
hot
it's
mess.
fun.
Don't do that. That's probably a woke company too. Just saying.
Everything's a
How
woke
about
company.
mom baking cookies?
Yeah,
See, what happened to that?
good old-fashioned days in the
You can
kitchen.
smell it a block away.
Baked cookies.
We do that.
Well, now you have to worry about them being laced with fentanyl.
No, literally last night, me and my dad were both like, oh, let's go to the store, let's get some cookies, let's bake cookies. We ended up eating the raw cookie dough.
Oh.
Oh, that's not good.
But they've made it so it's, well, they claim that they made it so it's edible.
Oh no, you got to read the ingredients in the
You
back.
believe
There's
in
so many
you believe
things
in
that are
advertising.
added. No,
Oh,
no.
oh my
We
goodness.
make our
lived.
own. We do our own homemade cookies. I do
So-
gluten-free ones and regular ones.
Oh, that's good.
And
Answer
Caitlin
the
and I,
question.
Yeah.
we do it as a family.
Yeah.
My son will sometimes get involved. His way of involvement is by eating the cookie
Yes.
dough that we make.
Yep. Or the
Somebody's gotta do
batter.
it.
The
Somebody's
batter.
gotta
The
do
batter.
it.
That's what I
It's
mean,
always
the
the batter.
batter.
Mommy, can I lick the spoon?
Yeah.
Well, and it makes me wonder with the Boys and Girl Scouts, what did they really do? I guess that they're going to have to do differently. Are they not doing outdoors activities? Are they doing things where they're competing and now boys are going to have to compete against girls? I mean, are we doing that?
I don't even know anymore.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I just wish they made a short demise and close down their shop and open up the doors for real people to do real things. I'm tired of apologizing for being right. We know they're molesting your children. That you know they are. That's why you don't want to send your
Yes.
kids nowhere near anything they're doing.
Right. I have a suggestion. Why not a 12 Rules for Life Kids Edition? Boys and girls. So Dr. Jordan Peterson has a book called 12 Rules for Life for men and women. Both can follow the same rules, right, or the guidebook. But they have a child version through, I believe it's Tuttle Twins.
Oh, yeah.
Love the
And
Tuttle
I
Twins.
think I have the book. I think it's an amazing book. It's like 12 Rules for Life for boys, it's like a boy boot camp, and then they have a girl boot camp. I think giving children something tangible that they can do while they're like learning life skills or learning survival techniques or how to recognize poison ivy from poison oak and how to start a fire and how to, build a tent or, pitch a tent or whatever, like just outdoorsy stuff. I think that our kids need to be outside a whole lot more instead of being inside attached to their electronics with all the EMF and all of the nonsense that's on the electronics. I think that's a great, maybe caveat to that, like a
That's
something
actually a
that we
really
could
good
do.
idea.
That is a really good idea. So somebody out there needs to do that.
And I
Maybe
don't
even
know
Jordan
why,
Peterson.
right? And I don't know why our communities can't invest in that. We used to invest in community centers. We don't have those now.
You're right.
They're all gone.
They're
now we
only
have
in the
YMCA's.
city, inner cities. Yeah.
And the YMCA's, it's not really a community center. A lot of them, it's expensive for the membership. A lot of them don't really have, good activities for the kids to do. There's not a lot of adult supervision. They don't really do great background checks. I mean,
And so many of them are starting to close down.
yeah.
Like we had
Because
this
of that.
because of that. Yes, and it used to be a place where people would go to rest their head if they needed it, right? That's no longer available. And it was where we could take our children and go swimming with the sharks, or well, it's called the sharks.
Yeah.
And
We're not dropping them in a pool full of sharks. We wouldn't
No,
do it.
no, no. And
I wouldn't mind.
and I just there were so many different opportunities and skill sets that you could learn
Yes.
for hanging out there, and now you just can't do it. You just
Wasn't
can't
that
do
a
it.
Christian organization at first?
It was. Yes, it was.
And they changed to something other
Young
than that.
Men's
Yes.
Christian Association. That's what it was
And
started
it's
I don't know
as.
what happened.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but I remember just the few times that my daughter would go. Their summer camps are still pretty expensive. It's getting to where like the average reason that I think it was created, they probably can't serve that group anymore because it is expensive to go
Yes.
to their.
I see the YMCA as like a ghetto gym now.
See, but
my.
it wasn't that before. We used to take Caitlin there to go to gymnastics.
Yeah.
That
They don't
used
provide
to be
most of that
there's-
anymore.
It's like out of the window.
Like even my friends, like we'll talk about like the YMCA that's like nearby.
And you make fun of it.
Yeah. We're like, no, that's ghetto.
Well, it's interesting too because as a mom, I'm concerned about leaving my children for summer camp.
Oh.
And taking them, dropping them off at
Yes.
summer camp for a couple days or even a couple of hours. Like a sleepaway camp, no. Even if it's Christian, nope,
No.
not doing it. I just someone that has been, assaulted at a young age and as an adult, it's just I'm not willing to put my children at risk that way. And yeah, they might be missing out on some things, but we don't even do
Yes,
sleepovers.
they miss out on being molested.
Right, they miss out on,
Yes.
on being molested. Right, and so we don't even do sleepovers.
Nope.
Thank you.
I'm
it's
just
funny.
not.
So we used to
Comfortable.
not do sleepovers for people to sleep over our house.
Yes.
Right? That was a thing to protect us as the individuals from being accused of something that we
Yes.
would never do.
Right.
But now Caitlin is 14 and she's like, Mama, can I have a friend sleep over? And I'm like, oh, who's the person? Now it's like, who's the person? And
I gotta know their mom.
we are super limited. we limit where our child goes.
Yeah.
And not because we don't want her to have a good time. It's
Right.
because, to your point, I was also unfortunately abused as a very young age, as early as I could remember was 4, between
Right.
4 and 7. And my mom had no idea, and she was innocent. She really didn't understand what was happening. And I remember that, and I'm not upset with my mom, but I don't want my kids to be upset with me. I'd rather them be upset that they can't go, had a sleepover,
than to be traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I don't understand. My children would never sleep over anywhere. When they stepped into my home, the girls came. I had girls, and the girls came in for a sleepover. My wife slept with them
Yeah.
in the same room.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
they did games. They did all things we want to do. And by the time we went to sleep, she curled up on the blanket with everybody else.
Absolutely.
That's because I didn't trust any other human on the planet.
That's
Right.
right. There you go.
They're your
That's
babies.
exactly
I'm sitting
right.
here and I'm feeling so like, I hate to say affirmed, but I've been so like, because so when my
That's like
kids
a
were
little
younger,
inside
that's
joke.
exactly what we did, right? And at the time I think they maybe thought it was kind of fun and cool because I was around. As they got a little bit older, like 15, 16,
Can't
it was
talk
like,
about things when I'm around.
it was like, you're weird.
Yeah.
I'm fine, leave me alone. And it
Yeah.
was like, keep the door open. Where are you guys at? You know, and I'm hoping that sitting here as a young adult, she's hearing this and going, oh, you weren't so weird.
Well, I think it also depends on your child and the age and their maturity level, because like when I was like 14, 15 and I wanted to have a sleepover, I could sleep over at like my cousin's house, my grandma's house. Like that was it. But it wasn't like outside of family. And I used to be so
Sometimes.
I used to be so upset about that, but it wasn't until I got older and I started to understand why. And as I started to understand why, then I was able to have like friends over, like for a sleepover, but like in the living room where my mom is coming and checking on us every once in a while.
Let's be
Yes.
honest,
Door
it was
op-
every 20 minutes. You
Yeah.
guys okay? Do you need anything? Can I refill?
Yeah.
20 whole minutes, huh?
With all honesty, with the people who do come over, that we are very close with the families
Yes.
or the parents. My husband will not step foot upstairs. We have a whole second level, and it's just set with a spare bedroom, like a guest bedroom, and then we have like the bonus room.
Yeah.
No one's allowed to go upstairs unless you're the person that's up there. Nobody, like no male figures. It's
Yeah.
just me going up the stairs, check on the girls. Hey, do you need anything? Do you want anything? One, to protect my husband and my son from being falsely accused from anything.
Absolutely.
Because no matter how great of friends you are,
Right.
you never know what's going on in this
ever
world.
know.
know.
You
Never
just
know.
never know. And so I'm just an overprotective helicopter mom, yes.
Woo!
But
We
I'm
love that.
very proud because I've got
Don't
3
apologize for that.
amazing children. I
See?
have 3 amazing children, and they turned out to be the best things ever. And they completely understand. Sometimes my son gives me a little pushback. But
'Cause he's
I love
supposed
you.
to.
I love you, son.
As
And-
a man, as
yes.
a guy, I want to put out something in the universe. I ask this question a lot, and I've very seldom met a woman that has not been assaulted or molested.
Yeah.
It's
Very seldom.
unfortunate.
That means it's common, folks.
very
That
common.
means it's common. So act like it's common, and treat your women in your family as if you know it's common. Stop playing games with yourself.
Very good.
That is so
That's great
true.
advice.
That hit home. That hit home. Yeah, because the innocence is being stolen and trauma is being
Yeah.
pushed, and then we spend the rest of our life trying to put that back together, right? Absolutely. Well, you've heard that genius coming from Mason Weaver, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him on to talk specifically about a few topics that I know Mason I consider him an expert in. I mean,
Experience and pay attention.
expert at paying attention. I love that. I love that. Mason, I want your unique perspective on, we talked about the Boys and Girl Scouts of America changing their name. It's like we're in an identity crisis here in our country. I'm assuming, we've talked before about how we've maybe not trained our men up to be men. We've done that through culture. Can you speak a little bit about what you see, what you've seen in the past, and what you might even see going on right now through our country?
We're in a crisis. We've given up on our conscience. We don't have a conscience about things that are good or bad. We're told that if we have an opinion different from somebody else's, we should apologize and make them feel better. No one stands up for anything anymore. No one has any kind of conclusions. We tend to be drifting as a nation. Men and women are different, but we need each other for different reasons. We need to get back to what made us great. We were a great nation because we did a few things a certain way. And right now we're apologizing for being correct. We got people in that country now that we know hate us. We have leaders that we know hate our government, our form of government. We know it, we see it, and we want to sit back and wait for it to happen. It's not going to happen until we do something. We are a self-governing nation.
That's it.
We got to be governed by ourselves. Every law has to be passed by someone that we vote for.
Right.
So, my goodness, in Ferguson, I was in Ferguson, Missouri. When they had the riot, everybody was screaming about the police brutality. That's it. 72% of black folks in this community. You run the state, you run the city.
Right.
Why you complain about the police chief? Vote. You're voting for people that are abusing your children and training them to hate each other. We see it. So it's time for us to stop doing it and vote our conscience. Get your conscience back.
Yes.
Your great grandchildren depend on it.
That's good. That's deep. It's hard for me because I don't want to, we try to speak so carefully about issues of race, but I really grew up in a time, Mason, I grew up in a time where we didn't see color. We didn't see color. We didn't see color.
So shout that. Let somebody hear that
color.
it's all garbage.
Yeah.
It's all garbage. There's, white folks sit around trying to be, we're going to do affirmative action for you. You don't owe me a dime. You kidding me?
Amen.
White guilt.
Yes, the white guilt.
White
Stop that. I got it on my website, a certificate of forgiveness to all guilty white people. We're going to forgive you for your guilt of slavery, because if you're going to bend your back to put me up, we both are in jeopardy. And I got to lean on you.
Yeah.
You got to lean on me. Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm a grown adult man, and black folks went through the civil rights movement to change the civil laws, not your attitude.
Yeah.
The civil law. I want to be able to
laws.
compete. I can compete with any man or anything. Just don't lynch me when I show up.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So we won the civil rights movement. White people and black people got together, took down that institution. It's gone now.
And people alive now have not owned slaves and have not been slaves unless you are unless you are trafficked.
Unless you're
That's
trafficked.
the newest form of slavery, and that does not discriminate from race to race.
No, it doesn't.
And it doesn't discriminate against gender or age. So that is the modern day slavery. And if we're not fighting that slavery, then you can kick rocks and play in traffic.
That's a nice
if
way
you're
to play
trying
it.
to talk about racial slavery, because that's non-existent right now.
Non-existent.
Unless you're in Africa and the Chinese are taking over Africa, because that's what's happening.
So what is the purpose, Mason, of the narrative that I think a lot in the mainstream media want to drive of this perpetual racism? What is the reason for that?
A lot of money in racism.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Don't forget, all the programs, that's cash that they give you to administer the programs, and those Democrats are getting paid to administer the program. Got these black overseers, these black preachers that come up and talk like Fannie. They gave an award to this woman. These black
Fannie
pastors, yes. What a name, Fannie. What a great name for her. They gave these preachers and the bishop in front of the church praising this woman that's having sex like it's free fall, and then she's lying on a client, and we are praising her because she's against the person that we're against. What's happening in America now is that everyone's taking sides on emotions.
Right.
It's emotions.
They're being led by their emotions.
Instead of by their commonality, we're being divided by our differences. That's going to kill us as a
We're
nation.
being divided by our ignorance.
Yes. Which means public schools.
He
Did I
said
say
it.
that?
He went
Did I
there.
say that?
It wasn't
Public
the homeschool
schools.
moms. It was Mason.
Homeschool
who said, I
dad.
love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
I wouldn't know about white guilt. I'm a beaner, so.
If you don't give me $20, you are a racist. I did that once. On Facebook, I put up a plaque. If all you white people don't give me $20 for racism, you are a racist.
How much money did you raise?
They're trying to give me money.
Oh my God!
Bless their heart.
Oh, stop it!
Wait.
Bless their heart.
If people call me a border hopper, will it work for me?
No, I doubt it. You look
You
too
said
white.
I
I'm sorry,
doubt it.
dear.
You're white adjacent. That's
It's
what
me
they
dirty
call it.
and just a, yeah.
I knew I needed a tan more.
You're white adjacent.
You know, if you
babe.
do your DNA and you smack it on there, like who was it? Pelosi that did that and trying to say that she was Native American.
No,
No,
that
that
was
was
Who was that?
Pocahontas. What is her name? They
What
called her
is her
Pocahontas.
name?
Warren, Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Warren.
Warren.
Maybe you could do what she did. Just get her DNA test in, and when you get that 1%, maybe they'll
Gotcha.
recognize you.
Look,
Can
I
you
blow people's
believe
minds
that?
when I tell them I have Ashkenazi Jewish
You-
in
what-
my blood, and
We
they're
all
like,
do.
"What?"
Jewish, yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, they
my,
were black
my
Jews.
grandmother's
I mean,
Jewish.
come on, people.
I'm not gonna.
So don't go in any saunas around
Oh
us.
my God.
To answer the question why we're doing this, Because if we're united, they cannot win.
Yes.
Yes.
They cannot win.
And they're just trying to divide us.
Every little division, East Coast and West Coast.
Yes,
Yeah.
come on now.
Rich and poor, male and female, young and old, every division you can think of, they're doing it to keep us fighting a little fight instead of
Yes.
lift our heads up and see who the real enemy is.
Yeah. The government.
That's the real enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And those who want to control what we're doing, they want one world control.
Yes, they do.
So if you want to be an individual controlling person and your own family and your own values,
Sovereign.
we got to stop responding to the nonsense.
Yes.
Stop it.
I think that's what makes me so excited about comedy having this resurgence, and it's like a resurgence with a vengeance. I don't know if you've seen the roast of Tom Brady, but it is incredibly hilarious, and the jokes are so good, but they're so bad.
They're so not politically
because
correct.
they're not politically correct, and they just go. It's like it was a full like
That's his
just
slogan. Just go.
go. It was just go. Because it's been so silenced, and like if you can't laugh, we had this conversation before with especially with my son, because he's 16, and he's like, I'm like, you say all of these racial jokes, like if somebody were to walk by and hear you talk to your friends, they would think you were racist. He's like, Mom, we're inundated with it every single day, in every single class, in every single video game, in all of the TV shows. It's everywhere. He's like, so for us to either we pay attention to it or we laugh about it. Because if we pay attention to it, we become depressed and then become disparative, and then you just want to stay in your house and don't want to talk to anybody. You're antisocial. He's like, but if we laugh about it, then it becomes fun, and it's not that big a deal. So comedy is a good way, a great way of getting over some of the hardships in our lives. If we can't laugh at ourselves, I mean, you're taking life a little too seriously. We're supposed to enjoy life and find joy in life, and I think that's why I just love that this comedy thing is.
Well, it also it kind of backfired, because I think like the goal was to get kids to, oh no, you can't say that because it's racist. But then they forgot that kids grow up and they eventually get to their rebellious phase.
Yes.
And so now, oh, guess what? We're gonna make racist jokes all the time.
Can you sing rap music?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh? I mean,
no.
Gee, you heard the lyrics of rap music?
It is so disgraceful to women and to any nationality. It is so degrading.
Yes.
It's a disgrace.
Today's
it's a disgrace.
hip hop and rap
Any way to
music
make money
rubs me the wrong way. Like
It's
I
just-
feel,
Yeah.
it's like
Like
when
you
you
need
pet
a
something,
shower.
yeah,
Yes.
or when you pet something, like the opposite way of the way the
Didn't
hair
I
goes.
say
Like that's
the
how I feel
20s
when I
to
hear
the
it.
40s was nice because it was
weird.
instrumental,
Yeah.
it was soft music, it was elegant.
I don't mind a good drum beat.
I will continue to
Or
listen
good
to my
808,
Johnny
but-
Cash, my June
man.
Carter, my Elvis.
Homeschool, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There it is.
Yep.
We did one thing
I love
correctly.
it. I love it.
You're boosting her ego for
Totally.
You did good, Mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
See, she's supposed to hate you at 15, but love you at 30.
Yeah. I love that.
That's the goal.
Is it?
I told my granddaughter, you're going to hate me at 15. You know, when my granddaughters got to be teenagers, they were extremely attractive. I have to admit it. They're gorgeous to my grandkids. So, but they started dating. They wanted to start dating. So I told them, they knew me, homeschool, always armed. So I said, when a guy asks you for your phone number,
Give him mine.
give him mine.
Yes.
The first phone call comes to me. And the first date is him and I going to dinner or going to a coffee. So I can explain to him the rules of my home.
That's right.
The rules of my home is that I rule my home.
Yes.
And after that, the first date is me and this dude and my wife and my granddaughter. And we go out. So he can understand that this is not a girl that you can pray on. You can pray over her, but you cannot pray on her.
I like that. Ooh,
That needs to be a T-shirt.
That'll be
Yeah.
t-shirt. Find that on
I
thehomefront.tv.
swear, if y'all come up with one more merch item that I have to design,
It all goes through Brianna.
I'll help you. I'll help you.
Thank
Bree.
you.
I'll help you.
It's Brianna at, no, I'm just kidding. We're going to come back with more from the home front, but before we do, I want to encourage you to go to Up News BG so you can get upnewsbg.com so you can get the latest from Bella Grace. We will be right back with more of the home front. Stay tuned.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Brianna, we're still waiting on our merch. We need updated merchandise.
Can you not pressure me for just 1 second?
I know it's a
I'm
holiday.
just a girl.
but I'm gonna need you to start thinking.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Mason, why don't you chime in and talk about what the people saw?
What they saw?
Yeah, the last couple of minutes. What was going through your mind when you were watching all that?
I think the black guy was tremendous. No, I think
You're fantastic, Mason.
No, he
I think-
didn't. I love it.
I think that it was great interchange. I think Brianna is the star of the show because she's young and intelligent. You guys all came across great. It was wonderful questions, and even the interactions and the jokes. It's lighthearted but educational. I like this whole program.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
But I like the black guy better. Can I say?
You know why they say black don't crack?
That's what I heard.
My
That's what I heard.
goodness.
It's really funny. I have you may hear noise in the background because my house is full of in-laws and outlaws. So we got a lot of folks here for the holidays. They all want to come to Florida with a holiday. I can't never go to their house up north.
Right.
That's okay.
That's what happens when you live where people vacation.
Yeah. If you move to Florida, you're gonna have visitors.
So guys, it's so happy that you guys are watching us on all the channels, Twitter, Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. We're going to go back here in a second, back to the show. But before we do, if you're watching this, please share the link to this event on your own personal pages. Share the link to the event on your own personal pages. The Homefront.tv is the boldest show for women, by women, powered by women. We're all self-funded, so you helping getting the word out will help create more content like this. Michelle, let me hand it over back to you to let the people know what they're going to be watching in the second segment of the show.
Well, I just hope everybody understands we said unfiltered and we met unfiltered. So you can even see in the chat, what I love about this is that we've given everybody here the permission to speak freely, to be funny about it, to be honest about it. And so we encourage you, if you're watching this right now and you've got a question for one of the cast members, just drop it in the chat. We're going to continue with more of our fun program here with our special guest, Mason Weaver. I hope you enjoy it. Here with Mason Weaver. We've been talking about those topics that, they tell you not to talk about. We've given you the permission to go ahead and have the conversation because I think part of it is to just maybe shame you into having the conversation. We are actually a lot more alike than you would think. We're all different races here. We're all different generations, and we're having honest discussion. So, yes.
I belong to the race of Christ, in case somebody want to know.
The race of Christ. I love that. The race of Christ.
I love it.
During the commercial break, we were talking. What did you mention, Brianna? You were talking about
how I don't belong to a 9-to-5. I belong to a kitchen making a sandwich.
Yes. So growing up, I have heard.
I would love that.
I've heard her say many times that she would love to be a stay-at-home mom. She wants to be a wife. This is something that's not. You don't hear a lot in this generation, and I think we're kind of pushing our women. I love women. Go to work. Do your thing. Yeah, do that. But there's a time and a place, too, to try to be home as much as you can when your kids are young. Why is it that our daughters feel like they almost can't say that out loud or can't want that anymore?
Because you get taken advantage of.
They don't hear it anywhere else.
Ooh.
No one else says it.
Yeah. And society has kind of pushed women to compete with men.
Yes.
And telling young women that they can do anything a man can do. That's false, ladies. You cannot do everything a man can do. But I do want to point something out because I think we've talked about this before. Is when you have weak men, they bring out the masculine in women, and women have to kind of put their pants on and go out and work and earn a living for their husbands. Their husband can stay at home, or their boyfriend can stay at home. That's not the role of a woman.
Makes sense.
How did he become your boyfriend?
Right, exactly.
How the weak man?
Exactly. That's a great point.
Don't date weak men.
Don't date weak men. But I also think that society has kind of demasculated men in a way because of the broken home, which is what we've talked about as well off camera. The broken home has led to this divide between men and women and this opposite roles that we keep tossing back and forth to each other, like you're supposed to do that and you're supposed to do that. But even if you're in a same-sex marriage, you still operate within those roles, or a same-sex relationship, you start operating within those roles of male and female.
Yes.
You're just the same gender.
So I think this is a good time. Oh, yes.
Right, it's
I was
confusing.
going to say, it makes a lot of sense then why we have so many women in the workforce, because we have a weak man in the White House.
Oh, that's good.
So good.
And if men,
And that's the end of the show.
right? If men are strong, women will submit naturally.
Yes.
If you have
Or
a
be eliminated.
Men are meant
Or be eliminated.
right.
We're gonna make you submit to us. You're gonna
Right.
submit to us, or we're gonna move on to next. It's
Right.
Submit to a godly man.
A
Yes,
godly
and
man.
that's the
Strong,
thing.
godly man.
And I think when you're with a godly man, there is nothing more charming than to want to it's not even submissive at that time. It's just
It's a want.
it's just lead and follow.
Yes.
And we move like that.
It's
You
natural.
have
Yes, men are meant to be the head of the household, and women are the neck. They
turn the head.
they support the head.
Girlfriend.
She's gonna have a book coming out pretty soon. No, just kidding. Mason, speaking of books, okay, so Mason showed me. Do you get offended easily? Because if you get offended
God, I
easily,
hope
you're just
not.
gonna want to switch to CNN right now.
Not if I'm here.
Okay, so if you don't, if you
or
don't,
that other show.
if you've got a spine and you're okay with an opposing point of view, this is going to be so wonderful. Mason handed me this book.
Ooh.
I have to have him show you. Can we show it?
Yes.
All right. I don't know if you can get this. Raunchy. I said raunchy. Secrets only wives should know. A conversation with an honest man. Okay, if that doesn't grab your attention, you've got to tell me about this. It says equip your marriage with the best sexual experience you've ever had. That's something the enemy is after. Okay,
Yes.
that's why he doesn't want you to know your sex, or wants you to
Yes, exactly.
withhold sex, or wants you to use it as. Let's not go there. Something for both husband and wife. Okay, you've got to preach on this.
You know, I was married to the world's most beautiful woman with her 45 years. Wow. I knew I had a great marriage. I did not know I had a unique marriage. I thought it was normal. I thought it was common. On our honeymoon, my wife turned to me and said, I do not intend to work at a good marriage. I intend to play at a good marriage.
Oh.
Wow.
And we developed a love language because you can't say things to your husband without worrying about his little ego. And we cannot say things to you without worrying about you getting your feelings hurt. So we developed a love language to allow us to speak to each other so that I can be trained by her how to please her, and she can be trained by me how to please me. And what happened with that, after 35 years of having a great, great time, a fun time with this wonderful woman, God took her home. He allowed me to prepare her for over 2.5 years to see her go home. It was a great experience to the very last end. When I buried her and decided to move to Florida, I started getting phone calls from women all over the country that my wife had been counseling and talking to about her relationship. They saw it, they were envious of it, and it became a chat. I said, oh, come on, let's go on Zoom. We have Zoom meetings every Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
That's insane.
And I told them, you cannot ask me a hard question. If you got the nerves to ask me, I have the nerves to answer.
Amen.
So what happened, the book came out of the conversation, how we met, how we fell in love, how we developed, how she forced me to wait 10 years to convince her that I was the guy her daddy told her about.
Wow.
Took me 10 years.
Dang.
Get in the car, girl. 10
Oh my
years.
gosh.
But when it was over, we had developed a series of things. First off, gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. You have never in your life, with your woman, with your wife, you have never had an argument with her while you had her in your arms. She cannot argue here. She
I hope
cannot
y'all have a
argue here.
notebook and you're taking
Notes.
notes.
I wish I had mine.
The book gives you directions and instructions on many, many topics. That's why I give it to you to give to your husband first, to let him read the book first, to see if it's okay for you to read it. You can get the book yourself by going to GodCommandsSex.com.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Oh my God.
God Commands with an S, 2 S's, commands and sex.com, and learn why that woman was made for your goodness.
Let me just say that there's a void in our faith community in talking about this topic. And because we
Absolutely.
stepped outside of the conversation, evil took over. And so we've got to get our Christian, our faith-based voices back in the thing that God created for us to procreate and enjoy one another in the confines of marriage. We got to get back in there and talk about it. I love this. I'm sweating a little, but I love this.
You have not had.
Well, we've made it a taboo topic,
Yes.
something that we can't talk about. It's something that
So
should
now
be
it's
talked
competitive.
about.
We try to get satisfied real quick. We don't want to satisfy the other person. We want to
Right.
get done and get on.
You know, the other thing is, how is it or why is it that we've, not me personally, because this I do not allow anyone but my husband and I to do this, but why has the greater part of America go to the big church for them to teach our children about sex? What is wrong with you? That is your responsibility.
Yes.
That is your job. You are to train and raise your child up as the Lord says they should go. So why are we allowing the government, what's it called, brick and mortar schools,
Yeah.
public schools. Why are we allowing public, charter, private schools, or even churches to teach our children, especially in February? Pay attention. If you're not paying attention, show up at a youth group and find out what's happening in the month of February. They are talking about relationships, they're talking about sex, and a bunch of other things that they should not be doing, because it should be you as a parent.
Ooh, she's fired up. I need a fan.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yes.
So we have women's groups lots of times at churches, right? So I know about marriage. I was, from what my parents have taught me, my husband and I communicate, but sometimes I go to church to be around other women to talk about marriage. Do you think maybe that's what churches should be trying to do if they're having youth group, or should they just avoid it? Because you do have difference of opinions, you're right. Why would you want one person expressing their opinion? Maybe that doesn't line up with what you believe at home.
So I kind of think that the way culture is right now and how sexualized culture is, I think it's important for sex to be a topic in youth group because most of them are out doing it.
Okay.
Well,
It
yeah.
depends on the
Already,
age group.
right? So if they're coming and they're asking these questions like, can I, is it okay if, or they just have questions and I just,
Then they're already
I have a
exposed
problem
to
with
it.
that.
I do have a problem with that too.
Because there's a 12-year-old girl who is pregnant and she goes for guidance to say, hey, what do? I can't have this baby. My parents don't know. Then why are you even having
Right.
sex?
Yeah.
You're 12 years old.
Yeah.
This should not be a church thing. I know we're usually on
You
the
know,
same page
I
with
know,
everything.
I get it.
But with this, I cannot waver, because listen to what happens in the church. You have pastors,
Yes,
youth
that's
pastors.
true.
You
Humans.
have like human
humans.
beings
Humans.
Yeah.
Do what humans
molesting
do.
our children. This
Yeah, I
is a
get
sensitive
that.
topic for me,
It
but
is.
I'm just saying I'm fired up
Yeah.
onto this.
I
Do
love
not
it.
have other people
Talk to your kids
raise your
about sex,
children
yeah.
Thank you.
and talk about anything that you cannot do yourself. And if you can't do it, find a way to figure it out. Look in your scripture, look in your Bible. The Bible tells you everything you need to know for every situation in your life. Pay attention.
First off, though, make sure as you raise your children, especially your girls, make sure they can come to you and ask you any questions.
Amen. That's
Create
right.
Make sure they feel
Yes.
comfortable.
for them.
Yes.
And they
Hold
come and
space
sit down
for
and
them.
talk to you about anything. Now,
Yes.
I've had questions asked to me that made me bluff. I'm an old Navy dude. made me bluff, but I'm grateful that my children, my girls,
Yeah.
feel to this day in their 20s,
Come on
still
now.
come to me
Comfortable.
Yes.
and ask me the most embarrassing
I'd rather my
things.
kids come
Yes.
to me than
Yes.
go to anyone
I
else.
even have my,
Yes.
my daughter's friends coming to me and say, oh, you need to talk to mommy. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
So
and
your
my
child
first
wants to know
question-
about something.
Right. My first question, if I had one of the kids come to me and ask me that, like, have you talked to your parent about this yet?
Yeah.
Because if you haven't talked to your parent about this, you should probably try.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you as much courage, talk if you need.
That's right.
And I can be in the room if you want me to be, if you
Yep.
feel more comfortable.
done
but
that
you
too.
should definitely talk to your parents first.
Yep.
So what I
Yeah.
think might be happening is that there's an absence of the parents taking the lead and talking about this, because I can remember vividly, it seems like it was just yesterday, but a few years back when you were really plugged into a youth group, I can remember in my mind, I know this, we're just being raw here, so I'm going to be very real. I can remember thinking, okay, we've had conversations. But like with my daughter, we've had conversations. I know she knows she can come to me, but gosh, I hope that they're also kind of discussing that in youth, because it takes some of the pressure off me feeling like I have to. What if I'm not saying it right? What if I don't
How
know?
can you not say
And
that?
but I only say that because I know there are probably people out there watching that have been there
Okay.
too. You hope that somebody else is going to have those heavy conversations because you don't trust yourself enough to be able to do it. But I'm here to tell you, God can walk you through that.
Yes.
Brianna can tell you. I've
Yes.
stumbled through it. I probably put my foot in my mouth a few times, made her blush. But I'm glad that I got out of my comfort zone to do it. You just have to do it.
But I also think it's
too.
important for you to do that to your husband. Talk to your spouse about it.
Oh, we
don't
do.
keep it.
We have discussed
Don't keep it hush hush. Like
Yeah.
you
No.
talk to them, feel vulnerable in front of them. Like have that conversation, because you're supposed to kind of build like this. Like talk about your fantasies. Like figure out how to
Yeah.
make it spicy, because I think we have an epidemic in this country where people are not satisfied to the fullest extent that they could be.
Is that why they're sleeping out in tents out in the middle of the street and protesting? Maybe you need to do something else that night. Just saying.
You never
Oh
know.
no.
If
Did
the
you
youth
have you seen
counselor-
what happened in where was it? It was like New York or something,
Probably New York.
Oh yeah,
What
we're-
happened?
where they're like under a blanket.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's gross.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
okay. We're
no,
talking about like
not intent. Please, no.
If a youth counselor tells my children anything about sex, then I'm going to counsel them.
Okay.
Press
That's my
charges.
job. I'm raising my grandchildren's mother. I'm not raising somebody for the world. I'm raising my great children's mother. How can anybody else, 10,000 years from now, her DNA gonna be with you and your husband?
Right.
She's gonna be what you make her to be. Nobody else out here. There's no other influence other than you are the influence of your children.
Right.
Yes.
Now, picking the right mate is helpful.
Oh, yes, it
You
is.
know, when I met my wife, the first thing she did when she realized she liked me, the first thing she did was put my behind on a plane and flew me to Florida to meet her daddy. Her dad, her mother, her daddy. Put me next to her daddy, who showed her how a man loved a woman, who showed her how a man took care of his family, and put me right beside him. Okay, you fit. Okay, because she was raised to prepare herself for her husband, not her boyfriend. She was raised. When I approached her, she put me in a position to have to qualify. Took me 2 weeks to get her name. Took me on the bus.
Nice.
Every
Okay,
day on
ladies.
the bus stop. Every day on the bus stop. How you doing? Turn that back on me. I didn't qualify yet. I didn't qualify to know her name.
that's the equate of leaving them unread, right? Or
Yeah,
unread.
I was reading her a block away, but she
Wasn't acknowledging.
She wasn't playing the game.
Nope.
And then she left for 2.5 years. I had to find her again.
What?
Had to search for her and found
He
her.
pursued her,
And
lady.
pursued her. Yes, I did, because
Yes,
she was worth pursuing.
worth it.
Yes.
She took honor in herself. She took pride in herself. And we went to dinner. It had been 2.5 years, and I had told her before that I had this 5-year plan that I was going to do. Went to dinner. She put her elbows on the table and leaned forward and said, "My daddy said, judge a man by what he does, not what he says." So it's 2.5 years now.
That hit her.
Oh,
That hit her like
So-
in her soul.
you say you're gonna get a full-time job, but do
Yes.
you have one?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
This is sensitive right
So
now.
I was able to qualify because I told her 2.5 years ago where I was going to be in 5 years. And every 5 years of our marriage, we had a 5-year plan. We knew where it was going to be in 5 years, and 5 years, and 5 years. And
So good.
we celebrated every 5 years a new plan. That's
awesome.
And we had planned if I turned 70 to be done working, retire, and move to Florida. And God took her 5 days before I turned 70.
What?
But guess what I did?
Wow, you
Moved
picked
to
up
Florida.
Florida. Florida.
To keep my promise to her.
Right.
A marriage is a physical becoming of one. God took something from man. He took something from man.
Yes.
Because it wasn't good for us to have it. He formed you. And the word said, skillfully formed. That's why your form drives us crazy. And man is seeking what God took from him. I want that back.
Yes.
That's why the Bible says when you find a wife, you become one flesh. You're back together again. We need each other. We need each other.
So good.
I love that.
For anyone out there that's missing a rib, I kind of have an extra one.
have mercy.
You better stop.
Well, I love what you said, Mason.
gosh.
And I love your just openness here. That you said, it was almost like you and your wife had this dance where it was okay to have that conversation. This is how you please me. How can I please you? Because to pretend that it's this game or it's this chase. No, have that conversation because there doesn't need to be a mystery. There doesn't need to be mystery there.
And you
I
still
want
need
to
to chase your
understand this
wife.
machine that I have, this creature. I want to understand this. I want to be able to explore, understand what the feelings. Because if I can't do that, she can't please me. And so it's a marriage for a reason. It's not a girlfriend, not a boyfriend. It's a generational commitment, generational. See, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, what she did for these two little girls is going to be reflected in the world.
Yes.
So she was God's gift to me. My children are my gift to the world.
I love that. And when you have cuddle time, what's really comfortable?
Oh God,
A
Mom.
My Pillow.
She always just sneaks it in.
That's a great segue.
I don't know. I'm not a professional at this.
So are
This
the
is-
sheets.
But right there you go. Get you some Giza sheets. So I'm just saying, if you visit mypillow.com, we're going to have a short break. We're going to give you some information on what they have there at MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Use promo code UP. We're going to be back with more of the wonderful Mason right back after this. Stay tuned. Yay.
Listen, that was the best segue ever. It was awesome. Get yourself some My Pillow and some My Pillow sheets. Get it. Wow.
We have to send that straight to Mike Lindell. That is just
Absolutely have to send it. That has to go. That's perfect. It was a perfect transition.
I love it. You could like sell the My Pillow stuff to like groups that do marital counseling.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
You
and as
did
far as the
not.
applications, they have to go through me and Bree's mama. Okay.
Honeymoon package.
Oh, guys,
Thank you. This is amazing. We're so happy you guys are watching the show. I hope you get a chance here to get into the personalities of the panelists, and you're seeing it right here. Unfiltered, unconstrained, uncensored. They're all in their homes. It's phenomenal. Demi, what's it like for you to kind of watch the show? You were a big part of that show. You had such good comments. What's it like to kind of see it on the screen now?
So aside from laughing at Bree's comments and the missing rib, I just honestly, I actually enjoy when Mason's on the show. I really love to absorb everything he has to say. And sometimes I'm just like in that awe moment of, wow, what he just said was so real and it was so profound. And now I'm watching myself and I'm thinking, man, I should have asked this question. I should have said that. So when Michelle made the statement about going to church and, you know, meeting with other fellow women who are wives, I actually wanted to say something I never said, and I probably must say it now. You know, I don't have a problem with small groups and gatherings and things like that. But what I do have a problem, which I have seen often in the church, is where the women start to bash their husbands. And I don't like that. I like when you're going to come alongside and encourage and back them up, not take sides, and give words of wisdom, not judgment. And, oh, girl, you're right. You should leave him. I don't like that. I don't like it being a bashing fest. That's not what it was intended for. And I feel like 9 times out of 10, that's the direction it goes, unless you have somebody bold like me that's going to say, you know, this is not what this platform is for. This platform is to uplift, to encourage, and walk alongside doing life together. And don't give me your personal opinion, because that's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking you to pray alongside with me and give me words of scripture or just words of wisdom that will help me improve my marriage. If anything, that's as far as it should go, I personally. And I never said that, but I'm saying it now because as she said the question, I'm listening. I'm like, oh, this is my time. I can't wait for commercial break. So
I love that, Demi. I love that. And I love the, I guess I love I love the opinion that you bring to the show because you know, we are all different ages and we're all in different parts of our life. But you have a wonderful feistiness to you that when you really feel strongly about something, it totally shows. And so I love what you put in the chat that, or I think it was you or Allie that said, we're not taking applications for Bree. We are not.
Yes, we are.
You know, ladies.
Yes, we are.
I'm a Christian man, and when I started looking for a wife, I didn't look to the church for a wife because I knew all my life that church is where you find the good bad girls. I have to find them myself.
Oh, wait. Okay, so hold on. So
he has to repeat that so that everybody could have it registered. Repeat that one more time. Why don't you go to the church?
I'm the grandson and son of a pastor. I was raised in a parsonage. I was in church all day long, every day. And when I started dating, I did not look in the church because I knew, and many men know this, church is where you find the good bad girls. Spiritual, you don't find in church. The mother, the church mother, and all these people are over these women, and they're just giving bad advice. Women know what makes them happy. You know, as an adult female, you know already what pleases you. You know what protects you. You know how to feel comfortable with a man. Every female on the planet wants a man that's willing to cut the head of a snake for her. That's what she's looking for. Yes. Find them and go make babies and live a good life.
Ooh, go make babies and have a good life. I love that.
It's important. We have to.
Brianna's sitting 2 feet from me and she goes, I'm trying to.
No, you're not. No, you haven't. No. You're still a baby. Grow up.
You're not listening.
Stay a child.
You're not listening. You don't look for a husband. He looks for you.
Thank you. We're the hunters.
Yes. Stop it.
Okay, but like
you're the flower, dear girl. You're the flower on the hillside.
Right.
You determine by your beauty what comes to pollinate. A bee, a hummingbird. You determine it. If you're getting the wrong kind of guys coming to you, you're putting the wrong image out. Just change where you're located on the field. Change where you are, and they'll find you.
If you like this kind of content, we need your help to get the word out. If you're watching this on the replay, post a comment on the replay about what you liked. We're getting a lot of comments here that you'd like this on a different day. So we want to know what day you'd like it on. The whole event here is designed to help you share the home front with the people that you care about. Again, if you want bold content like this, uncensored, unfiltered, powered by women, for women, please support the home front. And one way you can do that is by sharing this with other people in your life. Michelle, we're about to get back to the show. What else do you want to say before we bring it back?
Raj, are we allowed to let the cat a little bit out of the bag about the weekends?
Ooh, do it.
Oh, okay. So we just found out that because of how amazing you guys are, not just our audience, but also our panelists and everybody behind the scenes, because of the wonderful success of the show, we are going to have reruns on Patriot TV, patriot.tv, Saturday and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, so that when we get done with the hustle and bustle of the week and we have our weekends and maybe we're making dinner or whatever, we can tune in on the weekends to kind of catch up on what we missed. And also, I want to say this because I did it myself yesterday. We have a Roku app. You know, your smart TV, you go in there and you search Patriot TV. There's a Patriot Store app and there's a Patriot TV. And when you download it, guess what the first show is? Most popular, guess. The home front. It's real. It's happening. Yay.
That one. There it is. That one.
Brianna said it's not fake news.
That's exciting. No fake news. Not over here.
Welcome back to a lively home front here. So sometimes we think of the home front as talking about politics or health or current events. Today, the home front is talking about the bedroom. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about loving each other and how the marriage is under attack, right? The enemy does not want to see you happy and married, husband and wife with children, increasing and multiplying like God said. So I love that Mason's brave enough to sit here with four really loud, opinionated women and talk about this.
I'm
Mason,
scared.
God bless you.
He said,
Oh my God.
I'm terrified.
You
Do
do
it
should
scared.
be.
Do it scared. So, I mean, if I have the permission, we're just going to be blunt and honest. Mason, I got to ask you.
This should be blunt and honest.
All right, thank you. I got to ask you, because I hear about it sometimes on social media. What do you feel about what you've been through in your life? What do you feel about the idea of reparations?
Wait, what's reparations?
Monetizing racism, reparations. That's the concept of, I believe in reparations. Yes, I believe Democrats should pay reparations. Since they brought slaves in, since they bred slaves, since they killed slaves, since they murdered slaves, since they raped slaves, since they killed 360,000 white men trying to keep their slaves. And then every civil rights actions, the civil rights movement was against Democrats. The lynchings was by Democrats. They killed Republicans. So I think that if you're going to pay with reparations, you doggone Democrats, write me a check. I take it, I cash it. But in reality, you owe me nothing. Right. You're saying that you're superior to me, but nice. You're kind. You're going to give a little black boy some little crumbs to deal with. You're saying that you don't want me to compete with you. I know you're racist out there. You know that everything a black man thinks we can do, we dominate. Inspire United wants to do it. You wants to play football, we dominate. Basketball, we dominate. Singing and dancing, we dominate.
Come on.
So I'm going to tell you right now, keep your reparations. We're going to dominate our lives. We're going to dominate our families. We're going to dominate our business. We're going to raise our kids to trust in God. Whether you like it or not, keep your reparations. Stop trying to manage my life. I'm free, I'm grown, and I take care of my own.
Wow.
Yes. Love that. Right here in the
So
home front.
good.
You ever seen a black person run? Man. That's all I have to say right there.
Oh my.
You know, I
Goodness.
said before, why you know that Adam wasn't a black man, because you cannot get a rib from a black man. I just say that though.
Oh my God, I love that. That is so
my
funny.
gosh. Well, and we've had conversations, Allie, you and I have, Mason, so I've got members of...
What?
We're gonna get it together. I have members of our family, they're interracial. So, but it's funny because I walked past her room the other day, Brianna's room, and her and my niece were talking, but they were talking so openly and joking about race because she's black, he's white. And I said, what did she call you?
I'm Whitey.
She called her Whitey. She
That's
goes,
my
Mom,
nickname.
it's just fun. We're not, I love that they can be able to just, it's like saying you have dark hair.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Literally, as soon as I pick up the call, she goes, Whitey.
And I love
belong
that.
to the race of Christ, folks. And
I love it.
That's what I am.
I love it. I love it. So this idea of reparations is
Garbage.
Garbage.
It keeps us arguing and fighting. California trying to give reparations from a state that never had slaves.
Wow.
From a state that never has. It's a guilt trip on white folks and make black folks feel like victims. Give me more reparations. It's garbage. It's nonsense. If you want real reparations, black people, get your kids out of government schools. Turn off the rap music.
Okay.
Pick a man that thinks you're worth dying for, ladies.
Tell
Pick
it.
him first.
Tell it.
And raise the kids together because you are the best person on the planet, the best to raise your child.
Okay.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. So can I ask you, because some of we take the understanding that maybe a lot of people in our community that are watching might be just like us. We have questions. We have questions about the civil rights movement. I have questions about, even though I kind of know because I studied it, they might have questions about why did you say that Democrats were behind really keeping slaves in bondage? Why? Because we say it. It's so different on mainstream.
Yeah.
Mainstream media
Public
says
schools.
it's Republicans.
Public schools.
Public schools, okay.
Public schools.
So you have to set them straight, Mason.
Gee, where are we going to start?
History
We're gonna
lesson.
start.
Set them straight.
Democrats were in the South. Republicans were in the North. Well, before Republicans were in the North. Democrats had the slaves. Democrats split from the Union because once Republicans won the election in 1861, they knew the first thing they were going to do is end slavery. So Democrats went to war to keep their slaves. After slavery was over, matter of fact, Juneteenth is coming up. Juneteenth was when 10,000 black troops marched into Texas to free those slaves, led by a white general, but they walked in and said, this mess is over.
Right.
And they were backed up by 20,000 other black troops, and Lincoln said they could not have won a civil war without black troops. So black people and white Republicans went to war to free slaves. The civil rights movement, every civil rights action that Dr. King had, every march, sit-in, protest, boycott, was against Democrats. From George Wallace to the clown on that bridge as sheriff. So we owe the Democrats the attention they deserve. And right now, Democrats own every ghetto in America.
They do.
Every ghetto
I mean,
in
and
America.
you have what is it, Mayor Hochul from New York,
Yes.
literally saying that black kids in New York City schools don't know what a computer is.
What?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
so-
Democrats. That's how
right.
they look at us.
And then you got Joe Biden saying you don't know if you don't know who to vote for, you ain't black.
So I'm not black.
And now COVID's remember when COVID was going to kill? It's killing more black people than anybody else. And now, what is it? Global warming affects black people more than anyone else. Like what? And this is all coming from.
Can't get an ID. Can't vote.
Right. We don't know how to get an
not
ID.
get an
You
ID.
can't vote unless somebody this is the party that this is the racist party.
The party of racism. They always have been. Republicans have founded every black college, folks. Republicans, someone asked me, what have Republicans done for black people? I said, nothing. We don't own any.
Right.
It's
Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
Nothing, because we don't own none.
Never owned
Wow.
any. Never
So
owned any.
that is not taught in public schools.
I love the
way.
fact that I know about what you're talking about
Yes.
because I was homeschooled.
Thank you.
I specifically remember learning about
job,
it.
Miss
Remember that when
Shell.
your children get to go to school, remember what you learned from our homeschooling. You're the only person that can raise your child the way you want your child to be.
Right.
The only person. Better be you.
And I think back to all those times where she was like, "Oh, it's government again, Mom. Here we go. Let's."
Oh my gosh, yes, and because it's you, I had 3 government classes.
It was important. It was important. Mason, you have another book that's out too, don't you? Besides this one,
I have a few books out.
can you tell the audience a little bit about
I
it?
have 12 books out because I'm insane. I've written 16 books in my life. It's horrible. I have things I want to share with people. You can find the books at masonweaver.com or clarenceamason.com. They're on different things. Leave the Plantation is one because it will not leave you. If you don't leave it, you will be a slave all your life. White or black, doesn't really matter. They want you to depend on. See, Democrats understand stress and abuse.
Yeah.
They know that anyone they abuse the most supports them the most. A woman being
Stockholm
abused.
syndrome.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So they'll beat you down. Know you're going to vote for the less abuser. So my books are all geared toward that. My last book is called The Democrat Party hates America. The title may sound familiar to you because another gentleman wrote the same title 4 years after I wrote my book, and Amazon took my book off because he sold more copies. So you can't get nothing from me on Facebook on Amazon because I'm refused to do business with Amazon again.
Ooh, you know what we're going to do at the homefront.tv? We will have a link. We'll put a link up for all of Mason Weaver's products because absolutely. And you know what, Mason, we're starting a new Facebook group, a closed Facebook group that allows our viewers to come in and have open, honest discussion, dialogue, to be able to interact with us. I want to know from you. I think Mason should be on the home front a whole lot more often, and I want to see what you think. If you think maybe he should be a regular on our show.
Do I have to be a beautiful woman to do this?
No, but once a week. I think that'd be awesome.
Well, I do have one more question for you before we close out the segment. I want to know what advice you can give to our young men today.
Ooh, this is going to be the homework from the home front. Go ahead.
Yes, what can I tell my friends?
Gentlemen, in your heart, you're already a man. Stop playing the games. The games are easy. Women put things in front of you because they think that you can fund them. Stop taking the easy women. You know they're easy. The one you're going to have your kids with, the one you're going to love, is difficult. That's why you got to find her. When you find a wife, not when you find a girlfriend, not when you find a little cutie pie, when you find a wife, you find a good thing and she's already a wife. You find her, she's already a wife. Act like a wife, prepare herself for you as a wife, wait on you as a wife, will cuddle you as a wife, and she will thrill you beyond your expectations and dreams if you get a good woman.
Oh, I love that.
That's their homework.
That's your homework, gentlemen. Just trust in that. I love that. And women,
And grab
I love.
the book.
And grab the book. MasonWeaver.com. That's awesome. Mason, we like to close the show with prayer. Typically, it's like me doing it. Will you pray over us? We would love that.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this group of individuals seeking to open up the world to you. They look at your procedure. They look at your honor. They see the principles you let out for us. Let their words go out openly. Let their words reach those that are in darkness and in fear. Let their words counsel and protect and reject those who are against you. In the name of Jesus, we thank you for the efforts. We ask you to bless their steps to prosperity. In Jesus' holy name, we thank you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Mason. Thank you so much. I need you to navigate over to thehomefront.tv. Check out the link to our Facebook group that we have. I also want to thank, we had some delicious grub in the back, so I want to thank Cape Hayes Tavern here in Rotunda, West Florida for all they did for the entire cast here at the Homefront. You can see them or visit them at capehaystavern.com. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We're here daily on Patriot.tv, so tune in next time. Until then, have a great night. Thank you. Bye.
Stay right or be left.
Congratulations, man. That was so energetic. I just love the chat and all the interactions that you had between the cast. Michelle, what was this like to kind of watch this with your fellow cast members on the screen?
Well, what I love is that if you jump in, if you jump, into the chat, you can see just how much we love and adore each other, and the chemistry that you see on set is really, it's real. I mean, this is a God thing, right? You bring people together who all have, this gift to get the word out about things that we have not been able to talk about freely. And I think everyone's just so committed to this mission. I'm blessed to know you guys. And Raj, nobody gets to see what you all do on the other side of that camera, but you guys are working some magic there. This show looks amazing. I'm so excited where this is going.
Yeah, well said. And we're so happy with you for joining us on this live stream of our live watch party. If you're watching this on the replay, we want to hear from you. Give us a heart, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. By you sharing this channel, the Homefront.tv, whether you're watching us Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Facebook, or YouTube, or whatever channel you're watching on, sharing this with people that you care about will do a lot to help get this kind of programming out. Remember, we're not beholden to any industrial complex. We're not beholden to any pharmaceutical or energy company. We're not beholden to anyone except the truth. So thanks for watching this. And On behalf of Vic Mellor and myself, the executive producer, I want to thank all of you, wonderful, talented cast members, for just bringing it powerfully. Can't wait to see you on the next live. So stay right here. And before we leave, let Mason Weaver, our special guest, who just brought so much OG thinking and conversation without constraint to the table. Let you wrap it up, and then we'll see the people on the next show. Go ahead, Mason.
Everyone we know in history, we know because they're bold. Everyone we know and seek to follow, we know because they stood up at the right time and faced the darkness. This program and these ladies on this program are doing just that. They're standing up because they see their kids, and everyone listening have an obligation to push this program forward, because you've been complaining, you've been nagging, you've been bleeding, you've been frightened, and these women are standing up saying, send us. So folks, let's send them.
And
I got goosebumps.
And with that, we will end the broadcast. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.